So I'm going to have a go now at painting the vase of flowers on my canvas paper here. And I've put on a kind of a wash, just dilute crimson with some mix, just to take away the whiteness of the paper and have something to paint against. So the first thing I'm describing is the jar. And when you look at the jar is quite tall. And if I took the measurement of the jar from my thumb to my finger there and I went up here again, I'd say that the height of the jar is nearly equal to the height of the flowers, okay? So I can map that out or measure that out on my page. So I'm taking a little bit of crimson on my palette, I'm thinning it with some oil and go back to my painting. So if I'm going to draw a jar that is this height, and notice that the bottom of the jar curves upwards, okay? It curves upwards. So if that's my jar, and if I take the height of that jar there with my finger, my thumb, and I go up here again, I could put a little mark just to say flowers really can't go any higher than that, okay? Just to kind of keep things in proportion so I don't end up with a big mass of flowers and a tiny jar, that things are in proportion. Now, I'm going to break things down into basic elements. So we have a jar, we have a large flower here in front, and then we see sections of flowers at the back. So I want to describe those shapes simply. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start off and I kind of squint my eye and I'm going to describe the shape of the flower as I see it. And this is quite a large flower, so I'm just kind of putting in little hints of it here and there. The second flower, as I look at it, is higher than this flower, so it's going to come up here somewhere. It's going to finish off up there. But I'm only seeing the side of it, okay? So this flower here that I'm describing. So again, if I go back to my painting, I'm looking at, it's roughly like a half circle. That's the shape of it, like a bowl. And then the last flower that I see, which is behind these two flowers, if I was to describe that as a shape, it's again like another bowl, and it's higher than the other two. And it's a little bit, it should look a little bit smaller as well. So they're my three flowers, okay? And then I have various bits of stem in the jar of water. So they make a kind of, it's like a V shape upside down. So I'm seeing one, sort of two, and then a third coming like that. I'm painting in one colour at the moment to keep life simple for myself, because if I have to start mixing colours now at this stage, it just adds confusion to the whole thing. So I have my jar and I have my flowers. Now what I'll do is I'll go to my centre flower here and I want to put in a little bit of detail. So I see a green circle in the centre and I see edges of petals coming out from that centre. And actually the other thing I should put in is there's a border of yellow around that circle before I get to my line. So I'm just hinting now at, and I'm looking at the flower the whole time, the little lines that divide petals up. Okay, so at this stage we're just giving an impression, a loose impression of everything, and really we're just trying to get our proportion right. Okay.